Hello my friends and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from DadX, and here is Pine Ridge Raiders Raven sporting a magnificent skin. I do like it, fits it very well. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that skin at all. We're going to talk about this skin very briefly. This is the skin we're giving away today. It's the Scope Syndicate Megathron skin. Now, the giveaway just made me think, okay, let's do a Battleship video. And I thought, what's the quickest, kind of easiest one that I haven't done for a while, so it'd be interesting for me. I thought I'll get my Raven, we'll go and do some level 4 missions, see what's going on in this day and age. And here is that Raven. I'll show you the fit. It's a very traditional, very old school fit. This Raven has been in the family for a long time actually. It's just your cruise missiles, your active tank. The rest of the ship is basically balanced between being a battery by maximizing the capacitor and the recharge, and the DPS on the cruise missiles. With the ballistic control systems, you've got a small selection of drones for a battleship, 5 lights, 5 mediums, and it's a very simple fit. And what is great about this fit, and this was always kind of recommended as one of those entry level fits, is that by adjusting these bottom slots between the capacitor flux coils and the ballistic control units, you can give yourself more or less tank and basically reduce the tank as you feel more comfortable running the sights up the DPS, so that you're clearing the sights quicker. You can also mess about with the mid slots to enhance application, etc., as appropriate to the mission. With my old head-on, I was thinking, yeah, Raven level 4's match made in heaven, but there's something going on, isn't there? And it's down here. Now, when I first saw this price, I thought, what's in the hold? There must be some good loot in there. What have I done? And of course, no. We know about the current battleship inflation, but this is the first time it's really struck me. Let me get that to stay up there. Yeah, look at that. 361 million it's saying there for a Raven hull. And the last Raven I lost was 2 years ago. I've looked it up on the kill boards. And the reason I lost that Raven was because I sacrificed it, because it was the cheapest ship I had handy that could do the job, to dump into a gate camp so Dexter could get his, I think it was a Vigilant out, and that was much more expensive than my Raven, because the kill mail for that Raven loss was 185 million, and the mail was listing the Raven's hull at 120. So that was 2 years ago. We know about the recent battleship changes, and that has really affected the price recently too. So we got 407 million showing here for the Raven. So I'm thinking, well, how can I describe this as an entry level ship when it's going to cost nearly $500 million, or getting on for $500 million? So I just thought, what are the options? What other ships can do this? And what are the changes in the battleship market done to what might actually be the most effective, easy to get into ship now if you're going to move into level 4s? So on good old Eve Praisal here, as we can see, the Raven in Jitter, Dixie is 344. In Jitter 319, so just 320 in effect over in Jitter. That is very expensive, as I say. And I'm thinking in my head, especially based on the ships that I've got handy, what isn't going to be too expensive to be an entry level ship these days? And there are some options. One, which I've tried, we'll have a quick look, is the Navy issue Drake. Now, the Navy issue Drake hull is now 235 million over in Jitter. Don't buy them in Dixie, they're 310. That's silly. Even I'd go to Jitter to save that much money on one hull. But anyway, Navy issue Drake, it's a tanky monster, it can project damage, it's definitely an option, but it was always much more expensive than an entry level Raven. But now it's cheaper, 100 mil cheaper pretty much. Gila, the ever reliable Gila, about the same price hull wise as the Raven, so in terms of that they're on a par. But the Gila, another option. It's not more expensive. It used to be, again, quite a bit more expensive than the entry level Raven. And if you want to stay with the battleships, there's only one place to look really for, again, entry level stuff. The Praxis in Dixie, it's 164 million. In Jitter, wow, that's unusual, it's actually a little bit more, just shy of 170 million for a Praxis hull. And they are very versatile. They're a little bit misconceived, I think, by some people that haven't used them. Think they're kind of a Nubro ship. Or if they are a Nubro, maybe make the mistake of, if they jump into Praxis, they're going to be like Super Capsuleer and come a Cropper. but it's definitely an option. So if we get rid of that right there, I'm not going to neglect the Raven because it is a sound ship to do this kind of work in. But I have also in the hangar got a Navy issue Drake, I have got a Gila, I have got a Praxis, I've got one ball of Catalyst who comes out and does a bit of salvaging. I don't think I'm going to do that regularly, but it's always worth just keeping an eye on how much it's worth, so I've been doing that on some of the missions. If we look at the Raven fit, what do we actually get for our 400 million? We've got the cruise missiles, which have got a huge range, 180 kilometer flight range. My lock range is 108 kilometers, so I'm not making the most of that. But we're fine for these missions. We've got so much tank. What I can say about all these ships, certainly with my playstyle, is that they're all very over tanked by a large degree. Now, having said that, I haven't yet replayed through all of the level 4 missions, and I haven't played any level 4 missions for probably about 4 years, and the last time I played level 4 missions regularly, we are going back to probably 2014, so a lot has probably changed. The missions don't seem to have changed, but certainly the balance between these ships now has. So in this video, I'm not going to go into great detail about any one of these ships or any particular running of any site. This is kind of an introduction. I'm here to experiment. I think my goals are to find the quickest way that I can do it with what I've got and the cheapest way to do it with what I've got. And also another alternative, there's one of the ships that I haven't mentioned here, which of course is the Friendship. So why not consider pairing up with a buddy, finding a buddy, making an Eve buddy, and just doing it in 2 Drakes? That could be a possibility. Maybe a single Drake can do some of these missions. I suspect they probably could. But I want to find something that can focus on what is considered the toughest mission. So do let me know, because as I say, I'm out of date. So let me know in a comment down below. What is considered these days the toughest level 4 missions? I'm running the missions for Fed Intelligence Office. I'm 1 jump from Dodixie, the slightly overpriced shops, which is actually very handy, especially when you're as forgetful as me and come here with half a fit. What is great about the ships that we've got is a lot of the modules interchange. They're all shield tanked. I could go back passive, I can go active. I've got kind of everything I need here, and I haven't had to spend a lot of money on duplicating stuff. But anyway, the Raven with his cruise missiles hitting out to my lock range of 108. With the drones, let's just get the fit simulated. We've got 538 DPS. We've got 45,000, we'll call it, base HP. And obviously we got the reps. And with the Tech 2 rep setup, the extra large repper, I'm getting 938 hit points per cycle. But I know how few cycles I've had to use this on. And what I'm doing, by keeping a rough count of the cycles in my head, of how much I've repaired to keep the ship at 100%. I've never ever been in any kind of danger. Adding that to kind of what's here as a base EHP, it's giving me a rough idea in my head of how much more shield I need on a passive tank ship to take the same amount of punishment. And that's where we are with the Raven. We'll look at this in more detail and how I've tweaked it and might tune it, and any suggestions again are very welcome. I did run a mission called Buzzkill in the Raven, which was very heavy on frigates and destroyers, and I found that even the cheap cruise missiles, if you fit a missile navigation computer, run the precision script and a target painter, it might take a few rounds of torpedoes, but you will even take down the assault frigates. They can't get near enough to you to be any problem by the time you've killed them. Efficiency is really the name of the game in level 4 missions, isn't it? The quicker you can clear the site, the quicker you can get onto the next site and make more ISK per hour. We'll have a quick look at the Navy issue Drake. Now I've done, I think, 4 missions out in the Navy issue Drake. It's been fine. It hardly gets hit. As I said, if you're not familiar with these ships, and again this will get an episode of its own, it's a bit of a monster. If we simulate this one, we've got just over 70,000 EHP. We're running heavy missiles, they're fine. They get up to 55 kilometers, which is a great range for the Drake to be at from what I've seen, because nothing is applying any damage to me. I'm just going back and forth with my afterburner, picking the mobs I want to aggro so I don't over trigger the site. And yeah, it's been brilliant. As I say, this was always so expensive I wouldn't have suggested it. Looking at it financially, it's a cheaper option. The Gila we've got, I've just shipped it over. Ironically, the old man here, Pine Ridge, has had to borrow a Gila off of that noisy alpha ThinTrash. He dropped it down because we're only 4 jumps from sail in as well, like home. So anything I need I can go and grab, or have an alt come and fetch for me. So we've got an absolutely basic kind of level gila here. I mean in terms of the ingenuity of the fit, it's a gila. It's got his drones. We can carry a fine selection of medium drones in the gila. It's got its crazy bonuses. 500% bonus to medium combat drone damage and 250% bonus to their hit points. So you do get a bit of drone aggro on these sites. I've consistently lost at least 1 drone per mission, and on 1 mission when I was particularly clumsy left free. But I can't imagine these incredibly tanky medium drones that the Gila is going to be putting out is going to have any problem. And you have the rapid light missile launchers to pick out any of the smaller ships, the frigates and the destroyers, that are going to be the main hazard to your drones anyway. So this I think will be absolutely fine. Again, if we simulate the fit, we've only got about 50,000 EHP the way this is set up, but I haven't even tried this yet. Everything is negotiable, everything will be tweaked and tuned. You know me, I'll get in there, get it done, and then figure out what we need to do to make it safer, quicker, faster, whatever way we need to go. So there's your bog standard, really, passive tank, rapid light missile Gila. And then last but not least, for now at least, because there are other ships or options, please make suggestions. I could catapult any alt that I've got up to these missions, even though Pine Ridge Raider's the only alt that ever managed to grind through to level 4 on the missions. But I could fire the Amar alt up there or whatever, you know, so I've got options. We'll talk about that in a little while in more detail, but the last option I have available is ThinTrash's Praxis again. The alpha dropped this down for the old man to play with. Go on, Grandad, you have a go, kind of a thing. 224 million. The cheap ship, obviously alpha friendly. With the alphas, I've used this in videos on the old emerging conduits, the old high-sec ones. It could manage those. And an Angel's 5 out of 10, which was a hell of a grind. I got no loot, but it was 2 hours of very engaging Eve. Anyway, right now, this little monster is running rapid heavy missile launchers. It's knocking out over 1,000 DPS. That's a lot. And it can project that out to 72 kilometers with its heavy missiles. And I think my drone control range is not very incredible. 54 kilometers actually. This guy's got reasonably good drone skills. So 54 kilometers is my base control range. I've not felt any need on any fit to mod that drone range to get them to go further away, because aggro just makes it a little bit hectic, and I'm not the best at managing my drones, as I say. So as I get better, maybe I'll send them further away. As you can see, I'm heading into shutdown on what is a beautiful Sunday morning, and I do need to get outside, but that's okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue the video with some footage of the Raven and the Navy issue Drake just running through the sites, and we'll have a bit more of a chat there. So we'll have a look at the Raven doing a mission called The Assault. But before I'm going out on any missions, and I'm sure you all do this, but if you don't, please do it, I'm going to get out the Google machine and I'm just going to put in Eve, name of the mission, level 4 if appropriate, because some missions do repeat at various levels, and we're going to go to the Eve Uni page and find out all about it. Now what I want to see here is what might come out and tackle me, pin me on grid, so if things get hectic I can't run. Prioritize those. We've got the sensor dampeners, so they're probably going to be number 2 if they're a pain, and any triggers that are appropriate to the site. So I recommend you not only read through this before you go out, but if you're not familiar, you keep it open, flick to it. I do it regularly if there are multiple triggers and spawns and mobs, etc. So yeah, absolute must for me, especially as I'm so rusty. And here we are, just putting that plan into practice. I've read the guide. I want to aggro that mob up there first, take close out, and then work through the other ones. And as I say, just pick out the frigates, pick out anything that's going to sensor damp me. I think at one stage the sensor dampening gets me down to about 10 kilometers lock range. Doesn't last for long. The drones are out doing their business. I'm tending to put the medium drones out first, simply because with the painter they can take down the frigates pretty quickly. The light drones can go down very quickly if they do get hit by a lot of aggro very soon. And then I don't have to bring the light drones back in and send out the medium drones to start hitting the bigger ships, which is more appropriate for them to be. Let's do that anyway. So yeah, I'm going to pull range, control range once I'm happy with where I am. This is all sped up, obviously. On this actual mission, you can just fly to the acceleration gate into the next pocket. You can do that in the first 2 pockets. I have made the decision to kill everything before I do that, just to see exactly what that takes and what the reward is. And I'm pleased to say I think the bounties on this mission came to about 15 million. It did take me about 50 minutes to run it with this Raven. And bear in mind, Pine only has Caldari Battleship level 3. I can only fire or use the Meta cruise missile launchers, no Tech 2. That's about as low as we get on shield on the entire run. It takes about 3 rep cycles to fix that, so that's not really a scary thing whatsoever. In fact, it was 4 to get us up to 100%. If I've got constant damage coming in, I might leave the repper running. I have got plenty of cap. But no, I'm just keeping it topped up, and that's easily done. Speed-wise, the Raven isn't too much of a slouch, and I've got a faster speed than anything else on grid. So I do check that in my overview, do have that speed tab open so you can check what rats might be zooming out to get you, because you don't want to get mobbed. And once you get used to the balance of things, stay out here, pick them off, let the sensor dampeners break your locks as much as they like, but they're all going down anyway. And obviously, the fact that we've gone into a battleship does illustrate the fact that when you step up a ship class, you're obviously going to have lower skills for that ship, as I have with this Raven, than Pine does for the Drake, because he could fly Tech 2 Drake, fits, you know, with the missiles and the tank. Hams or heavy missiles. He's much more powerful in a Drake for what a Drake is than he is in a Raven, obviously. That's the point I'm trying to make. So is it always worth going up a ship class and having to train potentially a new weapon class as well, when you might be better off training up an extra level of what you're in already and seeing how that gets on? That's something we're exploring. And here indeed is the Drake Navy issue. I've got Tech 2 launchers fitted to it. I'm mostly firing just regular ammo of the damage type appropriate. The Drake Navy issue, unlike the regular Drake, its damage bonus is not restricted by damage type, so it's good with every type of missile, which makes it nice and versatile, provided you brought enough of what you need. We're heading into the second room here of a Smuggler's Rendezvous mission, and we're going to take down all these little nasty ships first. Obviously heavy missiles apply much better to smaller ships than cruise missiles do, and I've found the Drake to be nice and nimble, doesn't take much damage, doesn't really seem to need a lot of tank. But as I say, and back to the giveaway, I'd like some input from you guys, some ship suggestions, fit suggestions. What is regarded as the toughest level 4 mission, because then I can make that one my test bed and hopefully grind through missions and get that enough in the rotation to be able to try a few different ships in the same mission, or maybe 2 missions might be easier, because the rotation does seem quite random. I must say, I'm not impressed that the missions seem to be exactly the same ones that I was running all those years ago. And I wonder if the rewards have changed much, because there's certainly been inflation in every part of the game. So if the mission rewards haven't been inflated to match that, I'm not saying to match the current skip, say, and battleship prices, I just mean over the last 4 or 5 years. So let me know that too, because I really can't remember what kind of level of reward we used to get, or I used to get. Is it the same reward now for the same mission as it was 6 years ago? Let me know. I'll look through the comments relevant to this video, you know, suggest whatever kind of suggestion it is, advice or challenge, and I shall be rewarding 8 of them with the Megathron skin. And I shall be announcing the winners later this week when we have a little update on the progress. So I'm also going to be fleeting up with a few friends, just bringing in a small fleets of smaller ships, some just for lols, some just to see how we get on with it. And yeah, we'll bring you the best of the action. So that's going to be it for now, guys. So leave your comments down below. Good luck in the giveaway. Remember, please, to put your in-game name in the comment. Leave us a like if you've liked it and like the idea of what we're trying to do here. So we're going to try and get the ship we can get to do these quickest, the ship we can get to do it cheapest but reliably, and not in an age. You know, we don't want so little DPS that we're falling asleep running a mission. So let us know. Your likes are always valuable, both as an indicator of whether you're interested in what we're doing and to help the channel grow. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch. I'll be back to you from Auvergne soon with a mission update, but for now, fly safe, fly brave, take care of yourselves and each other, and goodbye.